will turn the floor over to Councilmember Morton.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as we've discussed in the past over the quite a few years, there has been some discussions about increasing the pay for the mayor's position, also possibly even changing council's pay. Council's pay has not been looked at for at least a dozen years, if I am remembering correctly. And so both of those things, I think, should be looked at. We've talked about it over and over and over, but never done anything about it. At this point, the mayor's position can be changed anytime. Council's is a whole nother situation. We can talk about that in another time. But the mayor position, both the current mayor and the previous mayor have worked without a city administrator and worked, put in tons of hours, a lot more than ever thought needed for that position. And so I think it's time that we do something to compensate that position for the amount of hours and the amount of work that it does take to run the city with all of our enterprise funds. Especially with everything that's going on right now, it's taking even more time away from family. The current mayor is, also taking time away from her business and her income. So her family's taking a hit as well. And I think it's our duty to do something to compensate that position, whether it's this mayor or another mayor coming forward if there's no city administrator. So with that, with the chief's help, we've done some research on cities with no city administrators and what the pay is for those cities. It is all over the board, as you can probably expect. It ranges from what our mayor is getting all the way up to $140,000 a year, which I'm not sure why a fellow is getting 140, but good for them. I did some calculations on a few. I took the highest ones out and did a couple of calculations on what, also talked to the chief on what we thought that would be an appropriate amount. And so the average of the five lower cities comes to $74,000 a year, roughly, and change. And I believe that would be a good starting point for the mayor's position. There's a lot of different ways this could be calculated, figured. Basically, I'm just bringing this forward to kind of see what council thinks and where everybody sits. And then I can provide all this information to you guys. I did not have enough time to get it out to you. I should have planned a little bit ahead of time for you guys to be able to have this information. Not being in council chambers, it kind of threw me off. So I apologize for that, but I will get it to you so you can review it. Yeah, so I'll open it up and see what you guys have to say.
Thank you, Councilmember Morton. I think it was Councilmember Linden who seconded, so I'll call on him next. Hang on, let me unmute people here. Okay, Councilmember Linden.
Yeah, Councilmember Morton, thank you for bringing this up. I know it's concerning when you look across the wage scale at our city and the mayor is making far below half what our lowest paid employee is currently earning. The mayor earns $1,500 a month, and we all can attest to the level of service that we're getting. It far exceeds that, and we're all appreciative of that. If we review our other cities nearby, Fife and Edgewood, there's another disparity if we do that comparison at what those mayors are currently earning, and they have quite a bit more support staff available to them. And so it's really quite striking, the difference. And then I'm also a bit concerned with an equal pay for equal work issue, and it being a potential risk management issue for us. I think we need to address it. It's past due, and I support us doing something regarding this. Especially, we should consider, a mayor's salary with a city administrator versus without, and making sure that we have a mayor that can do the job. Currently, we obviously do. Your leadership has been fantastic, and we're relying on you. The city is relying on you right now through COVID-19 and several crises before that, and there should be several in the future that we hope that you're steering the ship. So I'm in support of this. Again, thank you, Councilmember Morton.
Thank you, Councilmember Linden. Did I see Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, you did. And let me start. I really appreciate Todd's efforts. I really appreciate things that have gone on in the past, recognizing that the city of Milton has mayors who are doing work far beyond, you might say, just the original scope, because we do not have the staff behind them to accomplish the things that need to be done. I support moving forward with this. I support bringing this. I'm having a difficult time looking at everybody's picture and really deciding how everybody feels about this. So I'd like to do this in person. And I think it needs to be done immediately. I agree with it. I agree there's a lot of things in the city of Milton that a lot of us have done for a lot of years that are mildly compensated for. I am not arguing that, but the mayor's position, especially recognized in a time like we have today, is exceedingly important. And the time and the value and the effort and the hours and the time that's put into this takes away from somebody else's life. I strongly support this, Todd, and look forward to doing this in a broad general consensus at City Council with the public understanding. And I think their understanding would be they did not know, nor did we, the level of authority or the level of commitment a mayor has to have until you have a critical time like this. This recognizes the importance of having somebody in place, and Mayor Shannon, you're doing an excellent job, and the compensation should be justified, and I think it is. Okay, I was ill prepared for this conversation, so let that be that.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Whitaker.
Thank you. Would something like this, like a whole complete report, be something that would be brought at? I appreciate that. Yeah, we would like to get it, done as soon as possible. Would this be something that would be prudent to be initially presented, like at a study session?
If council directs staff.
I think it also. I think that it should be on the agenda for public comment. I think that's. I also think it's important that Michelle, our finance director, look at our finances. Obviously, we can't just throw out a number and not be able to support it, for the next 5 to 6 years. Yeah. And then I really do want to look at one. I'm extremely grateful and thankful that you brought this up. But I do want to look at the legality of things, because in past conversations with Mayor Eidinger of Edgewood, he's told me how they've done it, and it seems like it has to go through a salary commission. I would like to verify the process of that. You know, obviously I don't know how this works, so I want to have staff look into that with your guys' approval. Does that help, Councilmember Whitaker?
Yes, yes. It was just because you want to have a concise, you know, document for us to refer to. You know, with that was my only, not issue, but that was what I just wanted to kind of get straight.
Yeah, I don't think Councilmember asking for approval, and I don't think I would support that. But yeah, we will with your guys' since you brought this up, and as long as it gets to approval, I will have staff look into it.
Okay.
Councilman Whitaker, does that answer what you're asking for now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I have Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to thank Councilmember Morton for bringing this up for the discussion tonight. I didn't expect any voting when he put it on the agenda. It was just to bring it out so we could start getting it planned out of how it could be accomplished if the entire council voted for it or the majority of the council voted for it. And the fact that we have been without a city manager for a while, and as Councilmember Morton stated, we have had mayors in the past and currently you that have spent more time as a full-time, you know, mayor rather than a part-time mayor. Our city in this crisis, thank God, has had you as a full-time mayor to get us through this, and it's not over and we have a long road to go. And I think compensation is important without the aspect, again, of having a city manager, which other cities do. And I think the work that you have done and the commitment you have done, and it would require us also in the future ensuring that we would hope that those who run, in my mind, I'm just thinking out loud right now, and you know how I am. Sometimes I think out loud. In the future, 8 years down the road, if a person does come about that really doesn't have the capability or wanting to commit the time, is the salary going to be attached to an hour aspect? I would hate to see a person be elected in 8 years that would not want to spend the time that is equating to the salary that we do, if you understand what I'm saying on that. But I think it is time to look at it. I read one time it does take a salary commission, but I'm not sure if it's correct, but I thought I read somewhere that it would require a salary commission. But I think getting the dialogue going quickly is important. I hope our budget in this time can adjust to it. Or at least if not the amount that would be coming out of the recommendations, that something be done. Because the commitment you have given, you can't please everybody as a mayor. We see that in all cities, but the work and the dedication and your caring for the city does deserve recognition of the hours given. So that's my comment. So I look forward to it coming.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. And I do like how you committed me already to a second term in your comments. I do see a couple of hands going up, but let me make my rounds all the way around. So Councilmember Gillespie.
Yeah, thanks again, Councilmember Morton, for bringing this to the table and the comments from the other council members. And I, like them, all support moving forward into a discussion of whatever avenue we needed to do to kind of push this thing forward. And thank you, Mayor, for being our mayor over this period and from the day that you were sworn into office. Proud to have you as our mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Gillespie. Councilmember Peretti, do you have anything before I move on to a second round?
No, I agree with all that's being said, and I'm thankful that it's being brought forward. I would like to see it maybe in a study session or something where we can look at all the documentation and the different cities that Councilman Morton maybe looked at. But I think in this time and age, and it's I think beyond just even the crisis that we're going through now, I think even if there wasn't a COVID-19 situation, I think it needs to be.
I think you froze again. I think you froze. What I think you were going to say is that I work just as hard during non-COVID time as I do COVID time. So I will paraphrase for you. Councilmember Linden.
Thanks, Mayor. If I freeze, someone please text me because I'll have no idea whether I do or not. But I think it's also important to mention that bringing something through the addition, deletion portion of the agenda is atypical and a bit uncomfortable for council. So I'd like to make sure that this discussion continues and doesn't fall to the back burner. And so I just think that's important to mention, that we don't want this to just sort of fade away as a good idea some Monday in May, and then we have forgotten about it by July. So again, thanks for bringing this forward, Councilmember Morton.
Thank you. And Councilmember Morton.
Thank you, Mayor. I did just want to clear up one thing. A couple people had mentioned about the salary commission to change pay for council members. It does take a salary commission for it to take effect before the next election for those council members. For a mayor, it does not. So according to MCRC, had to make sure I got the initials right there. A mayor's salary, on the other hand, can be increased anytime provided the mayor does not vote to break a tie on the proposed increase. And there's more, but I just read that one line, just so you guys know that. And I'll work with staff to get this information pulled forward to everyone and work on the, make sure we can support it in the budget and all of that stuff coming up here shortly.
Okay, so based on everyone's comments, I will direct staff to look into this and prepare something for a either in-person study session or in-person regular session, depending on how our schedules start coming back with COVID being lifted. And hang on, I see a hand here. Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And I appreciate this conversation coming up on a Zoom meeting. I hate Zoom meetings. I'm sorry. I'd rather sit in the audience or sit around the round table and look at everybody in the eye. I think we all know the degree of effort the mayor presently is putting into her position, or if it was a he in his position. You don't know when these things are coming up. I like the idea of salary commissions for salaried employees, for folks who are elected to do extraordinary things under extraordinary times and respond to them is a little bit different. So thank you, Todd, for bringing this conversation up. It's difficult for me to do this looking on a little computer screen and everybody's faces are frozen because you don't move very much. Okay, to understand what it means. We're doing things under extraordinary times you can never anticipate. You can't project a value on this, but you can find the value in what's happened. We don't have a salary commission. I think that's a worthwhile thing to have for a degree of employees or a degree of people who make money and so forth that you make sure that you're in step with and keep them current with their salary range. There are extraordinary things that happen to a city, especially under times like this. You can't anticipate that. So thank you, Todd. I look forward to bringing this to the council under several different meetings. Maybe just not our study sessions, but recognizing the fact that this is so important that we create additional meetings to understand that this is what's happened. Yes, I think we all have done extraordinary things, but I think there is one individual in the city of Milton who has physically and emotionally and mentally done so many things to benefit all of us that there needs to be a consideration that these are the things that we compensate for in the future. So thank you for bringing it up. I'm a little long-winded on this. I'd rather be in the chambers talking to you directly because I'm looking off camera. Good conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I do see we have an audience member that has their hand up, but unfortunately, we are not taking any public comments. But I do like your shirt, Richard, and I do not have ammo. I really do appreciate your kind words, and to say I look forward to this conversation, I guess, is an understatement. So again, I do appreciate you guys recognizing the work that I put in, not only during COVID, but so far the 2.5 years I've been here. So I thank you for that.